Masechet Shabbat, Daf Beis Amud Beis. We'll begin Beis Amud Aleph, the last line. The Mishnah discussed Yitzias Shabbat Shtayim Shein Arba B'fnim, Shtayim Shein Arba B'chutz. The Gemara is going to bring down a Mishnah in Shuas that also brings down this halacha of Yitzias Shabbat, but it brings it down in an abridged form. It just says Yitzias Shabbat Shtayim Shein Arba. It does not elaborate the way our Mishnah does, by saying Shtayim Shein Arba B'fnim, Shtayim Shein Arba B'chutz. The question is why. Now the Mishnah in Shavuos lists several cases of where we have Shtayim Shein Arba, and amongst them is the case of Shabbos as well. So let's see what the Gemara says. Tanan Hasan, we learned in Masechet Shavuos, Shavuos Shtayim Shein Arba. By Shavuos, by a person makes an oath, he swears an oath, he takes upon himself an oath. There are two which are four. If he makes a Shavuos bitui, if he says, then I will eat, or I won't eat. He says in the future, something positive, something negative, which the Torah calls lahara lahativ. He obligates himself either to do something positive, for instance, to eat, or not to eat. If he violates that shvua, that oath, then he's chayav a korban oil v'yared. We're marbe from the pasuk that there in the past, there's also the same. If he says, I did eat, or I did not eat, and it's not true, then also he's chayav a korban. So it's Shtayim Shein Arba. Another example of Shtayim Shein Arba, the Gemara says Yediyas Atuma Shtayim Shein Arba. By Yediyas Atuma, there's also we have two which are four. The case is talking if a person he was aware that he was Tomei. If a person is Tomei, it's also for him to go into the Beis HaMikdash. It's also for him to eat kaidish. If the person was aware he was Tomei, and then he forgot, and he went into the Mikdash, and then he discovered that he was Tomei, he brings a korban. He brings a korban over yard. If similarly, if a person knew he was Tomei and he forgot, or he ate kaidish, then he discovered he was Tomei while he ate the kaidish, similarly he has to bring a korban. That's the Shtayim Shein Arba, or Marba cases which are four, which are another two cases, Shtayim Shein Arba, because we have a similar scenario. If a person knew he was Tomei, and he knew this was a Beis HaMikdash, then he forgot. He forgot it was Beis HaMikdash, and he went in B'tumah, then discovered it was a Beis HaMikdash, he brings a korban. Similarly, he knew he was Tomei. He didn't forget he was Tomei, but he forgot that this basar was basar kaidish. He ate the meat, he ate the basar kaidish, then he discovered it was basar kaidish, which he ate in a state of tumah. He brings a korban. That's Shtayim Shein Arba. Maras Negoyim, similarly, we have Maras Negoyim, we have the same type of case, Shtayim Shein Arba. We also have two which are four. We have Maras Negoyim. There's, the Torah says, Seis Ubeheres. So these are different shades of white. If a person has leprosy, he has tsaras, he has white spots. So there's different shades of white. There's a Seis and Beheres, the whiteness of white snow, or the whiteness of white wool. Now we're mar, but that's Shtayim, so he has the dinim of a Mitzayr. He's Tomei, and the Tara process that he has to go through, etc., and all the halachas that he has to go outside the machne, etc. We're marba two other shades, two lesser shades of white. Shein Arba, we have sapachas. So sapachas is marba, a secondary whiteness for both the se'ez and the beheres. The whiteness, a secondary whiteness, the whiteness of the white color, lime coating on the wall. That is a secondary color. And then we have a secondary color, the membrane of the egg. We have both for seis and beheres, a secondary color. So we have Shtayim Shein Arba. There's two which are four. And it says by Shabbos as well, Yetzias HaShabbos Shtayim Shein Arba. It also says two which are four. So Ma'ishna Hachadatane Beishem Dal B'fnim U'Beishem Arba B'chutz U'Ma'ishna Hasam Datane Shtayim Shein Arba V'suloi. Why over here the Tana elaborates? He says not only Shtayim Shein Arba, he says Shtayim Shein Arba B'fnim and Shtayim Shein Arba B'chutz. And over there, it's just the shortened form, Shtayim Shein Arba V'suloi, and not more than that. For the Gemara, the Iker Shabbasu, Tani Avasu, Tani told us. Here, the primary discussion is Hilchos Shabbos. This is Masechet Shabbos. The focus is on Hilchos Shabbos, so the Tani elaborates. Shtaim Shein Arba B'fneim, Shtaim Shein Arba B'chutz. Over there, it's secondary. It's Masechet Shavuos. The discussion is about Shavuos. It brings down other examples, other cases of Shtaim Shein Arba. But it doesn't elaborate because that's not the primary focus of the Masechta. So the more answers that over here, Hachad the Iker Shabbasu, over here that the primary discussion is Hachad the Iker Shabbasu, Tani Avos Tani told us. Hasam Dalav Iker Shabbasu, Avos Tani told us like Tani. Over here, so we're assuming that when it says the Shtayim Shehin Arba in Shuas, that it means that it's discussing only the Avos. Over here, when it says Shtayim Shein Arba, it's discussing Avos and Toldos. But over there, it's not the primary discussion, it's not Shabbos, so it only mentions Shtayim Shein Arba, which is the Av. What is the Av? As we mentioned before, the Av is Haitzah, taking from the Rishus Yachad to the Rishus Rabim, taking it out to the Rishus, that's Haitzah, that's the Av. The Tolda is Hachnas, is bringing it in. So over there, in the Masechet Shuas, it's not the primary discussion. It only mentions the Avos, only mentions Haitzah. It does not mention Hachnas. Frank the Gemara, what do you mean? Avos my neo Yitzia is. What is the Av? The Av is Yitzias. It's Haitzah. It's taking it out. Yitzias Trei Havyan. There's only two cases of Yitzia. So what's Shtayim Shein Arba? How can you say that the Mishnah in Shuas, the Shtayim Shein Arba, means only Haitzah, only Avos? There's only two. There's the Haitzah of the Balabayas. If he does an Akira, he takes it and takes it outside. Or if the Ani, he stretches in his hand inside, picks it up and takes it out. There's only two cases of Haitzah, the Deraisa of Haitzah. There's only two cases. So it can't be that it's only discussing the Avos, only Haitzah, not Achnasa. Then what's Shtayim Shein Arba? Maybe he'll say maybe he'll say no, it's only discussing the Avos, it's only discussing Haitzah, but it includes also the Rabbanan of Haitzah. It also includes perhaps where there's an Akira without a Hanacha, where you have the two Deraisas of Haitzah and two cases of an Isser Rabbanan where there's Haitzah, but one person only performed the Akira and he did not perform the Hanacha, which is only also with Rabbanan. So maybe that's the pshat in the Mishnah Shua. Somewhere says, no, you can't say that. But we have Maras Nagayim. It says, right in proximity, it says Maras Nagayim, and then it says that Yitzias Shabbos. Ma'asam kula l'chayuva, avachaname kula l'chayuva. The Maras Nagayim, all these shades of white, they're all Minat Torah. There's no D'Rabbanan. So for consistency, you wouldn't say that the Tana is talking about, in one case, Maras Nagayim, all Deraisas, and by Shabbos, Deraisas, mixing in Deraisas and D'Rabbanans. It would have to be consistent. And Rashi points out that really, the other cases, the Tumah also, the other cases, the Shua, they're also all Deraisas, but the reason that the Gemara only mentions Dumi the Maras Nagayim, because that's not contested. In the other cases, there are different opinions in the Tanoim. There's Machlekes Tanoim if that is the case in Deraisa or not. But by Maras Nagayim, it's unanimous. So therefore, you would not say that Shabbos includes the Rabbanans. So how could it be that the Shtayim Shein Arba is only Avos, and they're only discussing Avos, and you have Shtayim Shein Arba? There's no four Deraisas by itself. Elamara Papa, the Pshaz as follows. Here the primary discussion is Shabbos, Tani Chiyuv Petur. It mentions Chiyuv and Pot. And Chanami. Over here, that it's Iker Shabbos, we mention also the Rabbanans. So Shtayim Shein Arba V'fnim, Shtayim Shein Arba Chutz, we talk about the Deraisa of Haitzah, we talk about the Deraisa of Achnasam, but we also mention the D'Rabbanans, where there's an Akira without a Hanach. Over there, the primary discussion not Shabbos, so it's in a abridged form. So it only discusses the Deraisas. It does not discuss the Petura, it does not discuss the Rabbanans. Well, if that's the case, the derises, what's the derises? Yitzias, tate havin. There's only two. There's only, what's shtaim shein arba? There's only two. Now the Gemara is switching, is changing, it's reversing its position. Originally it said that the Mishnah in Shuas was only discussing Avos and not told us, it was only discussing Haitzah and not Achnasa. Now the Gemara is changing. It says that really it's discussing both Haitzah and Achnasa. It's discussing both Avos and Toldos. So there's two cases of Haitzah, there's two of Achnasa. What it's not discussing the Rabbanans. It's not discussing the Rabbanans. The Gemara, how can you say that it's discussing? How can you say that it's discussing that Haitzah is Achnasa as well as Haitzah? V'ha Yitzias Ketani. It says Yitzias. How can you say that it's discussing Achnasa as well? And the Rashba points out that really you can ask that in our Mishnah as well. Now our Mishnah also says Yitzias. And it also discusses Achnasas, but we're explaining the Mishnah in Shuas, so we're now restricting our comments, our explanations so far to the Mishnah in Shuas. So the Gemara is asking, it says Yitzias. How can you say Shtaim Shein Arba is referring to two Yitzias and two Achnasas? For the Gemara Maravashi, Tana Achnasa, Nami Haitzah Korelei. Even though it says Haitzah, it says Yitzias, but it refers to Achnasa as well. To bringing in as well. Mimai, what's my proof? This nan, it says in the Mishnah in Klal Gadol and Davayin Gimel Amaitzi Rishus L'Rishus Chayiv. If one person is Maitzi, it lists over there the Avos Malacha is, and one of the last one is Amaitzi Rishus L'Rishus. Is Chayiv Milo Yaskina the Kamayel Rishus Harab Rishus Hayochid. Are we not discussing where he also brings in from the Rishus Harab to the Rishus Hayochid? And yet it says Haitzah, it says Amaitzi, and are we not discussing Achnasa as well? And as Rashi explains, because we see that we're talking about from our Mishnah, we see that we're talking about Achnasa. So Amaitzi Rishus L'Rishus must be including Achnasa. And as Gemara in Shuas explains, it doesn't say Amaitzi Rishus Hayochid Rishus Harabim. It says Amaitzi Rishus HaRishus. It's a broader terminology, which means to include Maitzi from one Rishus to another, even from Rishus Harabim to Rishus HaYochid, even Achnasa. The time of it says Maitzi, so why does it mean Achnasa? Because Kol Akir is Chayfetz Mimekayma Tana Haitzah Korelei. Any transferring of an object, Haitzah, is transferring from one domain to another. Not necessarily literally Maitzi from Rishus HaYochid to Rishus Harabim. It means transferring from one Rishus to another, from one domain to another, which includes Achnasa, bringing in from the Rishus Harabim. Amar Ravin Masnis Namidika, you can prove it from our Mishnah. The Tani Yitzias, our Mishnah says Yitzias Shabbat become a Farash Achnasa La'altar. And immediately, the first case that it illustrates, the example that it gives, is the Ani bringing it in to the Rishus the Balabais, to the Balabais, to the house. The very first case that it brings down is a case of Achnasa, even though it says Yitzias. You see that Yitzias means transferring from the Rishus to Rishus, meaning including Achnasa. Rava Rishus Ketane, Rishus Shabbat. Rava says the meaning of that Yitzias could mean Rishuyas, domains. Not necessarily taking out. It doesn't necessarily mean taking out. It means a domain. It means that there's a rishus. And the way Taisus explained it is, we see by when the Torah describes the boundaries of Eretz Yisrael. It says, "Vahiu Taisus of Hayam." It says Taisus Mitargamina. Taisus says rishusay, the rishus. The Taisus can mean rishus. When it describes the boundaries of Eretz Yisrael, it says Taisav, which means the Rishuyas. So therefore, here also, it doesn't mean literally taking out, it means a Rishus.